welcome back to the Essential Woodworking series. Now we're putting the base on our sliding lid box. Got the base. Usually I like to always have the nicer face on the inside, so that's what I'm going to do. When you're marking yours, you need to mark the outside. So I've got a bit of a defect here. I'm going to have this side on the inside. So we need to mark it. Now when you mark it, I only at the start mark one short side, one long side, and I'll show you in a second. So what you can do is grab a ruler, measure the thickness of your piece. In my case it's 12, so you want to go halfway. 6, that pencil needs to sharpen. Sharp pencils are important in woodwork. 6 there. Now what you can do is grab a ruler. This is one that someone's left behind, and just rule your line. If you've been practicing though, you can try your technique with your finger and just trace it along the line. So get your 6 and then put the 6 over here. I put it in lightly just in case I want to sand it off later. Then we need to figure out where the nails are going to go. Usually I put them in 30mm from the end, 30mm from the end, and then in the center. So this is 215, which would be 107, roughly there. And then these ones, I only put 2 in here, I just bring them 30 in, just to keep it the same. 30 in, 1, 2, 3, 30 in. All right. I also like to put these nails in too before I actually glue everything up. It just means less mess. Cleaning up is, if you can avoid it, I mean, why not avoid it? When you're first starting though, it can be hard. So if you have to clean up, the best way I've found is with like a wet sponge that you always use for cleaning up glue. You can't use it for anything else after. Or just a wet paper towel, or even a dry paper towel if you really need to. Sometimes using the end of a chisel can help get it out of a square corner. Alright, so you can see that I've done the bits there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nails in at the moment. I'm going to grab some glue and go around the outside. Remember, don't put as much as you think you need. Again, I like to put my finger on the side and run up and down. It just helps keep it a little bit cleaner. Use your finger. Any excess glue, wipe it on your apron or your rag or whatever else you got going on. But using your finger, I remember I used to run a class for grade 4s occasionally, and I didn't tell them about the finger technique, and the glue went absolutely everywhere. So learn from my mistake. Alright, now when we're doing this here is being cut square, so that's a 90-degree angle there, a square angle. This may not be square, it can move depending on a few different factors. So we want to make this suit this. So firstly, we're going to do a long side. So just make sure it's even on the very edge. Don't worry about the other edge. I don't know if you can see that. Don't worry about this bit here. Just worry about this long section here and that it's even on the end. And that it's flush all along here. Grab your hammer, whack your nails in. Put them all in. If you can feel them still, mine are pretty good. Keep whacking them until you can't feel them anymore. Because if you can still feel them, when you go to use your pencil case on a table, it can scratch the table, so best off avoid it. Now what I'm going to do is I don't know if you can see, I'll bring it right up, but the edge here is a little bit sticking out. It's what we call proud. So can you see that? So actually this bit here wants to come up and be even. So what I'm going to do is I'll use this hard bit on my table, but you can try and do it on the end of the table if you want, but I'll just use the end of this table and I'll bring it in close using my fingers. If you don't want to use your fingers or you can't use your fingers, you can use a clamp like this, just stick it on the end, and that will bring it up pretty easy, and you've got both hands free, and then just whack your nails in. Nice and straight. The reason why you don't mark it, this one's pretty good, but you can see, and I'll bring it up again, you can see that this bit here is actually what we call proud, so it's sticking out. So if you mark 6 down, you'd actually be marking a couple of mil there's nothing there. So we need to take that into account when we're marking. This side here seems really good. It's just that bit there. So when we're marking, when you're marking long ways, you can use your rebate as your guide because that's halfway. Remember we measured that before. And this one here, you can use your already existing marks. So I'm just taking it from that mark, and it looks pretty good. If you're not happy with, if you're not confident with that, use a square, put it on exactly, and mark it from one mark to the other mark. The line should go all the way around. All right, once you've done that, mark it out. It is easy if you use a square here, because you're just going to mark the same anyway, you may as well. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but it does help. And what did I say, 30, this is inches, and 30. All right, then grab your nails. And whack them in. In theory, if you've put it all together and you've got one right angle, like you've got one 90-degree angle, the rest should be 90 degrees, in theory. So you don't have to worry about it as much unless it's obvious that it's not right. And a good way to fix it is with the clamp, what we just did before, to hold the shape for you so you put your nails in. Can I feel them? No? Excellent. Alright, lastly, 2 things. If you've got any glue in there, I do, I'm just going to grab a chisel. Because it's got a square edge on it, it's easy to get it out. I'm going to wipe it on my dust coat. Not my first project, you can see. So I'm just wiping it out here. I went across before, just be careful you don't scratch it. And now I'm just going down. And on my jacket. And secondly, this bit here I showed you before is a little bit proud. So what I'm going to do is use the plane. So I'm going to put it in the vise to try and give it a good grip. Push it down nice and strong in the vise. Grab a plane. And basically just go over it. A little bit of a mess, but I'll clean that up later. That's progress. Now when you're doing this, I like to hold it flat, but when I'm getting towards the end, I like to tilt it back towards me. And generally, this is a bit of a pro tip, so don't worry if you don't get it just yet, but you don't work out the end, you kind of work in and in. Otherwise, you kind of get bits of wood coming out the side, and you don't want that. get it as close as you can without touching this. If you put an angle on it, it'll be less to sand later. That's one of the beauties of it. And that feels pretty good to me. So then after that, clean that up in a sec. You just grab some sandpaper. And just give it sand. And this is the box basically, or what we call the carcass in woodwork. Fantastic. All right, next is our sliding lid. We've only got two things to do really. We've got to put our sliding lid in and get it working. And then we need to kind of finish it so it looks nice. You can see my fingers have put smudges on it and there's lines, and you can see the nails, which we don't want. So that's next time.